Jack drew his bow, taking a defensive stance as a mushroom-headed creature appeared at the door. Katie had never seen anything like it before and cowered in the corner, terrified. Jack took the opportunity to launch a sneak attack from behind while Arthur followed up with a swift blow to the head. Together, they managed to drive the mushroom man out of the house. Afterwards, Arthur explained to Katie that these mushroom people were once ordinary humans who had accidentally wandered into the forest and become infected by inhaling spores from a parasitic fungus, transforming them into bizarre, half-human, half-mushroom monsters. Katie was puzzled as to why she and the father-son duo hadn't been infected themselves. Arthur chose not to reveal the reason, but Katie noticed that her severely injured foot had completely healed within a day, further confirming her suspicions that Arthur and his son were hiding a dark secret. Deep in the forest, Arthur placed a piece of meat before a tree and knelt down to worship reverently. In the blink of an eye, the meat was enveloped by fungus, and a mushroom sprouted from the tree hollow at a visible pace. Arthur picked two of them, one for himself and one for Jack. As soon as they consumed the mushrooms, their wounds began to heal rapidly. This, it turned out, was the forest's biggest secret. By this point, the mushrooms on Katie's arm had multiplied, but Arthur didn't reveal the solution to her. Jack, somewhat indignant, glared at his father before storming out and slamming the door behind him. Although no words were exchanged, Katie seemed to sense something was amiss. Katie discreetly pulled out her phone and showed Jack photos of the big city, a world he had never seen, having been born and raised in the forest. Katie had intended to entice this naive young man into helping her escape the woods, but Arthur returned just then. He tossed her phone aside and furiously ordered Katie to get lost immediately. Halfway through her journey, Katie stumbled upon her colleague's flashlight and followed the stream, only to witness an unforgettable scene. Her co-worker, now infected by the fungus, had transformed into a massive, colorful mushroom. The man, his body covered in mushrooms, wasn't dead. He was still conscious but in agony. He begged his teammate to end his misery. Katie couldn't bring herself to do it, but Arthur, who was beside her, showed no hesitation. He placed an arrowhead in the man's mouth and killed him on the spot. Katie lifted her skirt to reveal the fungal growths on her thighs. Recalling her colleague's tragic fate, she shuddered in fear and pleaded with Arthur to give her some of the antidote. Unable to resist Katie's persistent pleas, Arthur once again presented a sacrificial offering of meat before the sacred tree, kneeling in devout prayer. This time, however, no medicinal mushrooms emerged. Arthur was horrified, realizing that harboring Katie, an outsider, had angered the divine tree. To obtain the cure, he would have to sacrifice his own son. Father led Jack to the sacred tree, not noticing that his father was carrying a woodcutting axe. By the time Jack realized what was happening, he had already been pinned down on the altar. As Arthur raised the axe high above his head, Katie shot an arrow into his thigh. Enraged, Arthur prepared to kill Katie first, but Jack stabbed his father in the back. Because Jack hadn't been successfully sacrificed to the tree spirit, no more healing mushrooms appeared. Arthur, who hadn't quite died, began to sprout mushrooms from his wounds and never rose again.